I'm Dr. David Baker Hargrove.
And I'm Robert Baker Hargrove.
And we're at the top of your inbox. This is the place where we come together to bring to you all the years of our lessons learned from owning and operating businesses, both together and independently.
Our goal is to provide you with a little bit of a business bite to take back to your organization to help your business grow and your leaders develop. So, Dr. Dave, what's at the top of your inbox today?
So today I thought that we would talk about Pride Month, but from a business perspective.
Yes, and right now there are so many different bills and laws that are going on that's out there, and sometimes you don't know what to do or what you can do. But as a business owner, as a business leader, or just as an employee, our goal is to help provide you with some ideas and some understandings of things that you can do that will really help engage your employees and really make you feel as though that you do have a voice and you do have some power in this situation.
Well, first I kind of like to, short history lesson here. You and I have been in the workforce for a very long time, and we've seen a very big change from when there was really no support for the LGBTQ community at all in the workplace, and it wasn't really something that was either talked about or mentioned, and we were just kind of invisible, and we kind of understood that we just kind of lived under the radar, and we kept our lives in secret and private, and it was just something that was never talked about. And then, in the first decade of the 2000s, there's just the landscape completely changed, and quite rapidly, really, and there became this huge groundswell of support in corporate America and American business for the LGBTQ community, and it became very easy to be out and welcoming in a lot of companies, and huge support for Pride events and all of that.
Yes.
And now there's a change in the tide, and so it's starting to be a pushback and a rollback of the welcoming and the support, and that's a lot of concern. And so not only are people feeling like they may have to go back into the closet at work, but also it can be effect on our mental health as well. And so we wanted to provide some tips and maybe some suggestions about how we all can work together, no matter where we're at, to perhaps advocate to stop some of this rollback a little bit if we can.
Our first little, I would say, tidbit for you is really know the diversity goals of your organization. And when you become an employee of an organization, it's really important that you help understand and know how your identity as an individual fits into that company. And so if you know what the goals are, maybe you can then help contribute or see if it aligns with goals that you have as an individual for yourself as well.
And if the company that you work for doesn't have any, you can ask if you can create them.
Right. Yeah.
The other thing is that, definitely participate in feedback surveys and be honest about the questions that you're answering, especially when it applies to diversity issues and efforts. And so, and really talk about how you wish that your company would be more supportive, and in what ways about supporting our community and in all diversity efforts throughout the organization.
Those surveys are really an opportunity for employees to share their voices, particularly and hopefully in an anonymous way, so that you're able to share your thoughts to really help provide that feedback so leaders can take it and get better and really in their focus on how they can continue to support their employees. But tip number 3 I would share for you is find an internal champion. Now, this champion is someone that you would trust and that you would share information with. And it might be someone who could be a peer, but typically finding that internal champion is someone who is a little bit higher up in the organization than you are, and that may have a stronger voice in the organization to help have influence these changes, help impact the change, and really so that they can hear from you honestly and be able to share and have those open discussions and dialogue. Because when you trust them and you trust that individual and you're sharing that information, they may be blind to it. So by helping open their eyes to it, or at least share your perspective or things that you've heard, you may be able to help impact some change in your company.
If there are diversity programs or efforts that exist in your organization, actively engage in them. Lend your voice to the effort that already exists. And if they don't exist, ask if you can start them. So get the ball moving, get the ball rolling on getting diversity efforts started in your organization.
And one other thing that we would like to share is create allies from other demographics that that fall under diversity, equity, and inclusion. It could be from a religious group, religious allies, to those that may have military allies, veteran status, to socioeconomic allies, language allies, race, ethnicity, all of those demographics that fall. Bring those groups together and really create those allies. And speaking of allies, it would be remiss for me not to mention that Juneteenth is also in June, and it's June 19th, and that's the commemorating of the emancipation of enslaved African Americans. And so, through history, African Americans have made strides, and they've made strides by having their allies, by coming together. And so that's what we're saying, and in an organization, particularly for the LGBTQ plus community, find your allies and utilize them to help make an impact change.
There's absolutely strength in numbers. And there's one thing that I absolutely believe, that the more that you can band together to form your diversity efforts with other people that have an identified minority status, the stronger that you can become in creating diversity efforts in your organization. Because this is a test going on right now within our country.
Yes.
And these other folks from these other communities will probably be next. And so we really have to band together right now to protect our rights. So it's so important. And also, don't forget to vote.
And so if you would like some assistance in really helping look at your organization and help creating some diversity, equity, inclusion efforts, you can reach out to me at robertbakerhargrove.com.
Or me at davidbaker-hargrove.com.
Or both of us at bhcassessment.com.
So until next time, we'll see you
at the top of your inbox.